Hi, thanks for taking the time to click on my video. Today I'm going to talk about something a little bit unusual, maybe a little bit different. I'm actually going to talk about robot hoovers. I've wanted one of these for a bit of time now, but they've sort of always been quite expensive. But there's a lot more on the market now, and you can buy some, cheap Chinese ones starting from like £80. So I decided anyway to sort of have a look into it. I went through looked through Amazon, sort of read quite a few different reviews about different types and models and variations, if you like. Some of them won't go back to the charger, some automatically go back to the charger, some of them just brush, some of them can mop and hoover. In the end I decided to buy this one that can just basically hoover. This is the Cleanbot R720, I think it's called. And it's a copy or a rebadged Moneual MR6500. One of the reasons I got this is because it sort of was the features I wanted it had, and it was also within my price range. I think I paid around £119 for it. It was through Tesco's Direct, but the actual seller was Appliances Direct, who tend to sell sort of stuff that's sort of second-hand electronics or very heavily discounted electronics that maybe have been brought up because they are no longer being sold, and that's some of the reason why this was cheap, because I think originally they were around £300, these robots. But I think what happened is that Moneual, the company, had basically committed fraud or something, and the company is now in the hands of the Korean government because it's a Korean company. So I don't know what the future is for Moneual, and it's a shame actually, because this product is pretty good as it goes. When I use it and when I got it, it was wrapped up. The box was really posh, and I was quite impressed, to be honest, with just the packing, and the quality of the product's excellent. But anyway, yeah, so I spent a bit of time reading about them, looking on Amazon. I was possibly looking at getting a Chinese cheapy one, but after reading about them, people were saying they're great, but I've had 4 of them, and I thought, well, I don't want to be buying loads of them. So I thought, okay, I'll go for this one that people seem to say would last. So that's sort of one of the main reasons I went for it, and also I like the look of it, to be honest. It looks quite cool. Anyway, how does it work, and does it actually hoover? So the way these things work basically is there's 2 sort of different ways. You can either pick it up, place it in the middle of the room, or if you basically hit the start button from the charger, it will drive out and then it will start spiraling basically, and it'll just keep spiraling for ages until it hits something, and then once it hits something, it will just basically do like a random bounce maneuver. It just literally bounce around the room in the hope that it's going to cover the whole room. And then sort of towards the end, it might start doing something called edge cleaning, where it will track the edges of the room. You can see this actually doing a spiral now. So this is one of the functions of it. It's detected as a chair leg there, and it will just keep spiraling around it. So that's sort of the rough way they sort of try and get the coverage of the room. So just sort of by complete randomness, if you like, that it bounces around enough to pick up everything. This one has got 2 brushes on the front of it. The idea is flick bits into the side inside the machine, and it's got another roller brush inside that's rubber that basically spins, and it's supposed to sort of flick up stuff, and then it's got a little hoover that then sucks up the dirt. Unfortunately it's just got stuck. That's another slight issue with them, obviously. Depending on your floor type and how your room is, they will sort of unfortunately get stuck occasionally. Now this one isn't too bad, and it's quite good at getting out of being stuck, but it does get stuck probably around 20% of the time, unfortunately. But that's the nature of it. Another slight problem is finding its charger. I've not followed the rules quite right, and it says you're supposed to leave I think it's a meter around the charger, and I haven't done that. But it still does get back to my charger, but it probably does it around 70% of the time. But anyway, it's quite clever how it does work, and how it does get out of sort of messes like it's in at the moment. I think one of the reasons it got a bit confused there was because the shiny surface maybe upset the sensors or something, I don't know. Another thing actually just to bear in mind is the floor surfaces that you're trying to clean. This works very well on sort of hard surfaces and very short pile carpet. It can't really deal with rugs very well. It doesn't really clean my rug very well, to be honest, at all. So I don't expect it to do any long pile carpets, you know, rugs with tassels on or anything like that. It just will not like it. Anyway, this one, it's got, I think it's got 5 different modes on it, including like a turbo mode where it sucks a bit longer but it uses more battery life. It's got something called reserve cleaning as well. As one of the things I wanted to be able to do was to schedule the device, so when I'm out at work it might sort of go around and do the hoovering. Although this does not have a full schedule, it just has something called 1 hour reserve and 24-hour reserve. So the 1 hour reserve mode, basically, if you press it say at 9 just before you're going out work, it will actually go out at 10 and then hoover for you. And if you press the 24-hour reserve button, it would basically, if you did that at 9, it would go out at 9 every single day until you cancel it, cleaning the floor. One of the other things I suppose that I've sort of learnt while using this, because I've had it for a few weeks now, is that don't expect to sort of put it down, you know, in the middle of your house and expect it to clean the whole house. It won't do that. You need to sort of zone off the areas. You need to say, okay, today I'm going to do the lounge, you know, close the doors to your lounge. Then the following day you're going to do the hallway and the kitchen, so you close off the doors, and you'll get a much better sort of finish doing that. So I've got a routine where I do the lounge, the kitchen, and then the upstairs hallway and the bedroom, and the upstairs hallway and then bathroom and bedroom, and it sort of works quite well, to be honest. Another thing, I don't know if I mentioned this, but don't expect it to hoover. That's a really strange thing to say, but it's good at keeping things tidy and keeping on top of the dirt, but it will not hoover for you. So you're going to need to carry on with your normal hoovering routine, although you might be able to elongate it. So I usually hoover every weekend, but with the robot, I actually, with this running now, I could probably leave it 2 weeks, or actually when I first got it I didn't hoover for 3 weeks. So that's pretty, you know, pretty impressive really, because you know, this thing, you know, it does sort of do the hoovering, but it's best at keeping things tidy. It's also very good at actually picking up pet hair, and I think they're all like that. You know, I've got a cat, the hair tends to get everywhere, and it does quite a good job at doing that, to be honest. So that's quite a nice thing. When it sort of runs out of battery, it will go back to its charger, even though when you like what it's doing now is trying to find its way back to the charger. It doesn't go straight back to the charger you might think it do. It sort of bounces around and looks like it's not going to get there, but if you just leave it, it will make it back, and I think a lot of them are like this. Another thing is, if you watch there, if you stand watching it, you know, that's probably the worst thing you can do, because you'll see it go over some dirt, and you'll think, well, why has it not picked up that dirt? And basically the best thing is just to leave it, and it will eventually go back where you've just, you know, seen that dirt, and it'll probably pick it up. You just need to give it time, basically. It's not going to necessarily pick it up on the first pass, and by the randomness of bouncing around, it should eventually, you know, cover the whole room maybe a few times. So overall, I think I've been really impressed with this little Hoover, even though you still have to sort of make yourself use it, because it is a little bit faddy, but I think it is making my life easier and definitely keeping the house much more tidy. So, you know, overall I think it's an excellent little purchase, and actually when I come to buy a new Hoover now, another robot Hoover, you know, in a year or 2 years time, whenever that might be, don't know how long the battery life's like on all these. It's supposed to last you know, 1,000 charges, but just have to see. But anyway, when I come to buy another one, I probably will, I might go for something more like a Neato or something, maybe spend a bit more money, because I think the Neato's got better coverage, and you know, it might be a better product to buy. But for at the starter, this worked, you know, a starter sort of Hoover, this worked very well. So anyway, thanks for watching, and I hope that's been informative. And if you go and sort of get one, put something down in the comments, say if you actually liked it, or if you didn't, you know, you didn't like it, or you didn't like the idea of having a robot Hoover, it didn't work for you. I mean, personally, I think it's been great, but yeah, please comment, and thanks for watching.